Hey guys, this is Shane and welcome to my Curator of the Lost channel. Today, I'm going to talk about a road trip I did yesterday down to Cullman, Alabama, about an hour from here. There's a bookstore down there, Camelot Books and Comics, that was going out of sale. And a viewer, Josh, and I met Josh down at the book sale. We were going into the store at the same time. The store was closing, and Josh had sent me a message last week giving me the heads up. And it turned out they had been having these end of closing business sales, and then they said, well, this last weekend, yesterday, as a matter of fact, Saturday, they're going to have their absolute last day, and all the used books were 50 cents. So Josh had sent me a message on YouTube saying, hey, this Camelot Books, they've got a pretty good science fiction section. You may be interested. So it was great. It was great timing. I didn't have anything going on Saturday morning, so I said, hey, I'm up for a road trip. Let's go. So, I definitely appreciate that heads up from Josh. I'm going to show you what I got there. I bought like $33, $34 worth of stuff. And I think that looking at it, I probably have got somewhere between $220, $250 worth of stuff to sell. So, that's, if you look, that's probably $150 to about $150 worth of profit, maybe a little less, 130, depending on if most of this is going to go on eBay. So I'm gonna break away and I'll show you kind of like just a couple little shots from the sale. I think I think half of Cullman showed up. For it was so packed, and the checkout. I'll tell you what they did on the checkout that just blew my mind. But everybody was super nice, and it was fun to see. It was really a nice store. They had comics in the front and used books in the back, and just a few new books, but everything, all the used stuff was 50 cents, so that was great. It's sad when you, in some ways, it's not even in some ways, it's sad when you see a cool venue going out of business. But I've got an example I'm going to show you that it shows the challenge of pricing even for a retail place like this, right? So I don't know if they just want to be a comic store or they were doing that to augment the used bookstore business, but I've got a couple of examples and thoughts on that show it's always sad, but it's always the challenge of everybody wants to buy local, support your local things, but at some point it does become the economics of it, and it's really tough. So I'm gonna cut away and show you the intro into Cullman and just some of the store itself, and then we'll go through what I got. So watch this. All right, Saturday morning. It's time to point it south and head toward Cullman. There's the Tennessee River if you've never been through Alabama, but coming into Cullman, nice little town. They have a nice little downtown area. It's fun. Here was actually the storefront for Camelot Books and Comics, and you come in, you'll see it was a maze of used. It was literally a labyrinth. Just here talking about, here's the crowds, and it went all around, just tons and tons of used stuff. These didn't even give you a sense of how crowded it was, but here's the front of the store that had the comic shop, and you can see the checkout line that was crazy. But hey, there's Josh. He had him a bag of stuff ready to go, and hey, he did me a solid because I was an amateur and didn't come with a bag, and he gave me a bag for my stuff. So thanks, Josh. All right, so you got to see Josh there in his bag of stuff. He said, "See cool, buy cool." Found him a bag of stuff, and you can see the store and the checkout line. So here was the crazy thing on the checkout. I'll just tell you this first. So what they were doing, even though used books were 50 cents, and I found this out halfway through my stuff, and I wasn't too pleased with it. But a lot of their books, they put labels on the inside cover. And so I don't like this for a couple reasons. Mainly, I've got to decide if I'm going to try to take these off or not. And it's going to rip. You can try to put the hairdryer or heat gun on it. They just may have to stay, especially for selling on eBay. Just comment in the comment section that they're there, right? I don't like that. I don't like that it's there. And even though people buy books and you do it, if it's a reader copy, you're just reading it and you're going to turn it back in for credit, or you don't care, it's, okay, whatever. You got the book at a good price. But most people do not like this kind of stuff on their books. They don't like it. I get it, but I don't know. I would have preferred them to put it on the cover where there's some sheen, kind of like what you do when you send things out on Amazon, so that you have a better chance of getting it out. I'm sure in their mind they're thinking it's not visible, you don't want to rip the covers. It's just a really bad, I was just disappointed. I hate that they do that. But on the checkout, they were, because they have these all inventory number, right? They were scanning every book. And I'm thinking, I guess there's a reason I said, I'm surprised you're scanning, that you're just not counting and charging 50 cents. That's why it took 30 minutes to check out. I mean, the line went back into the stacks. For if you're young, you don't know what the stacks are in the library, you know, like back in the areas where all the shelves, sometimes they had the automated shelves that push together, or we call those the stacks, right? I mean, the used bookstore stacks, the line to check out was all the way back through there. It was crazy. It took 30 minutes to check out, and it was because they were scanning each one of these, right? Instead of just saying, okay, you've got 20 books, that's $10. I don't know if I guess they just wanted to keep track of their inventory, and I get it from that perspective, but if you're closing, I don't know. That's why the checkout took so long. But I was disappointed to see these. But anyway, it's all good. So, a side note, Cullman, Alabama, if you've never been to Cullman, it's about an hour it's in northern Alabama. It's about an hour from the Tennessee-Alabama line. It's about an hour drive for me to get down there. It's famously known for the Ave Maria Grotto. You can Google that, but it's a St. Bernard Abbey. It's a Benedictine monks monastery there, and what they have, they had a brother Joseph about 120 years ago in the early 1900s. I think he actually moved to St. Bernard in the late 1800s. But in the early 1900s, he started making scale replicas of buildings and scenes from Europe, all over the world, different buildings, different, things. And he did this. I don't think he passed away until like the 1960s. He did this for a bunch of years, and then they had them originally like in gardens and stuff, but then they put them in this one area. And so it's kind of a tourist thing to do now. You can stop by and you can see the Ave Maria Grotto. And it's all these small replicas made from different stones and materials that were donated, different things that this brother Joseph, this Benedictine monk there at St. Bernard made. So anyway, if you're in the area, got a couple hours, stop by, see Cullman, see St. Bernard and the Ave Maria Grotto. So anyway, all right, back to the books. So let's go through some of the stuff that I got. I did get some science fiction stuff, and then I found one section. It was funny because Josh and I were at the section kind of the same time, and he was looking one side, I was looking at the other side, and we were both pulling some nonfiction. This bookstore was I would say it was 90% fiction, which is not necessarily my wheelhouse, right? But let me show you some of the nonfiction stuff, and then I'll show you some of the sci-fi stuff I got. And they had a great sci-fi and a great Western section. And, probably could have bought more for, to lot up. And it was packed. And I will say that a store like this, it's one of those things that you have to, it's really hard to scan. You kind of just have to rely on your intuition, your knowledge, and, you do some lookups to check. But it's really tough to scan everything. There's so much and there's so many people. But anyway, here's what I found. First, I'll show you this set of, they had a bunch of different ones of these, and I've sold some of these in the past, but it was this guidepost, they make kind of the inspirational, kind of religious stories, right? And this was the church choir mysteries. These sell, they got a bunch of different series, for these. And these sell, I think I got 9 of them. They sell anywhere from $3 to $4 each when you lot them. I've got soul comps on them, similar size quantities, 9 to 10, that are in that 25 to 30 range. I think $25.99, $27.99 for those are good. I've got 9 of them, that's $4.50 in them. And if I can sell them for $27, $28, that'll be all right. Then here's one, Wildwood and Wisdom. It's a solid $10 to $12 kind of wilderness survival kind of book. Again, I paid 50 cents for all these. Here's actually one that I'm going to send to Amazon. It's Party Games, and this is about getting, keeping, and using power in the Gilded Age of politics. And What's funny, let's look at this. So see, they have it listed for $4. Okay, I've got FBA on this for 25 to 30, and I know even after Amazon fees, I'll make 12 bucks on this, and so I'm just not sure what they're on their pricing. But anyway, I'm sending it to Amazon. Here's another one I'm gonna send to Amazon. It's about a $15 book. It won't be a big profit, 4 or 5 bucks on it. This Brushmen and Vigilantes, Civil War Dissident in Texas. So kind of cool. All right, here's another one that's an example. I'm not exactly sure on pricing on this one. For the store, kind of an example of how it's so hard in this kind of business, right? Even if you're brick and mortar. All right, it's the Goddess of Usser? No, it's my eyeballs. The Goddess of War. I thought that I need to get new readers. I thought that was that font that was a U and an S. It's the Goddess of War. All right, true story, passion, betrayal, murder in the Old West. Okay, look, this is selling. I can sell this for $20 to $22 on Amazon. Okay, with FBA fulfilled by Amazon, I'll make anywhere, taking my 50 cents out too for buying it, I'll make anywhere from like $9.30 to $11.30, depending on what I sell this for. All right, the bookstore was selling this for, I think that says, it's either $6 or $8. My eyes are really, really going crazy bad. $6 or $8. All right, so I get it, but they've got their overhead and things out of it too, their labor costs. So if they're selling this for $6 or $8, they're only making, you know, they've got their rent, all their, at the used bookstore, they were brick and mortar. I mean, they're only making, even if you say half of that, if you take profit out, you know, I don't know the mechanics of what they're paying for, but you got electricity, you do, you know, even if you're the owner, you're not there, you got to pay yourself a salary. This cost them something, is for trade-in or something else. Maybe it's only cost them a quarter, you know, or something, but I can make more on this one selling it on Amazon. And so that's what I question. You know, I'm not faulting the guys at the store. I mean, they were nice people, and but it's just the question of how it's an interesting thing from what the dynamics of the pricing in a brick and mortar versus what you can do, what I can do, selling on eBay and selling on Amazon. You know, I guess it points to why so many of our brick and mortar bookstores are out of business. They just, you know, what people are willing to pay in the store, they can't compete on that price. But even the profit, I get that, but even the profit side of it, it's kind of amazing to me. All right, here's one, Prelude to Dune. I've got some other Dune stuff that when I find these, I'm putting them together. I'm gonna sell as a big lot later. I think I showed that in a video several weeks ago. And so when I'm finding Dune, you know, the new Dune, is it on Apple or HBO or whatever it's coming out? It's coming out, Dune's hot. Whenever I'm finding these, this is the only Dune I saw at the whole science fiction area. Here's one, this is pretty cool. This one's gonna actually go, I think, to Amazon as well. This is a Pearl Harbor Divers Navy memoir. I can sell this for about 22 bucks. Let's see what they were selling it for. They were selling it for $7. I can sell it for 22. I can make $11, $12 profit off of it with my own. Go figure. All right, couple of misses. All right, this one. This is only The War on Powder River. This will sell on eBay for $5 tops. I'm seeing a lot of them for $2. It's a miss. I missed it. I thought it was good, but at least I only paid 50 cents for it, right? That's the good thing about this kind of sale. If you take a rider on something, you're only in for 50 cents. All right, this one I'm shocked about. All right, The Rod of 7 Parts. It's a Dungeons and Dragons. It's a book, and I think this The Rod of 7 Parts, I think, was an early TSR campaign type, you know, but this is only about $5 or $6. I thought when I saw this I had scored, because this is an original from the early 90s. I thought I'd really scored, but it's only $5 or $6. It's really a miss for what I thought it was. So I think it'll still sell for $5 or $6, but you know, it gets into that. It's really not worth your time, effort in a lot of ways. Here's one. I've got a $12.50 sold comp on eBay. This is a compendium of Confederate armies. I'll sell this on eBay. probably 12 bucks. It's good. I've got a sold comp on eBay for this one. Andersonville, Georgia, another kind of Civil War type genre. This one is signed, inscribed, I guess is the more appropriate way to say, by the author. Here's one of Plymouth Plantation. Actually, this one sells, it's got an e-score on Amazon of like 48, so it sells like every 3 days on Amazon. It's about $12, $14. So I'll send it, it'll just go in with some other stuff I'm sending in, you know, make $3 or $4 profit on it, and it's easy. All right, this one is kind of interesting. All right, here's a dance book, and there are no used ones, okay? This one is selling, and I don't think there were any fulfilled by Amazon. It was all merchant fulfilled new. This one's in really good condition. And this one, look, did not have the little label in it. I love that. So e-score 4, so it's not selling that often, maybe every 6 weeks or so, but it's selling new for $43, and there's no used ones. So I'm gonna send this in like for 30 bucks and see what happens. So, you know, take the ride on it. All right, now this one right here paid for the whole trip. Paid for my lunch at Jimmy John's. Got me an unwitch wrap, which by the way, after Thanksgiving, I'm on the plan, and you know, it's like you're being just after Thanksgiving, man, I hit the heaviest I'd ever been, and it's like I got to curb this. So for the last 4 weeks, I've been really watching my diet, trying to, you know, get a little more exercise, you know, eat less, move more type thing. And I'm down 10 pounds. It's good. And so after the sale, I stopped by Jimmy John's and got me a lettuce wrap. So this paid for my gas. This book will pay for my gas, my what I spent, and my Jimmy John's. So the Blueberry Saga. Okay, it's a Western. This one did not have. I remember this one. They didn't have it in their inventory, but it was there. I have sold comps on eBay for $35 to $75. And so I think I can list this. It's, you know, it's got a little scuff edge. I think I can sell this for 50 bucks. It's going, you know, pay for my gas. Had the Subaru, pay for the gas, pay for my Jimmy John's, pay for what I did. This one book, 50 to 60 bucks. So that's fun. All right. A couple others that let's see, fixing to get into the sci-fi. This Toyota Camry, the Haynes book, sells all day long for 15. You see them from anywhere from 10 to 30. This one, it's used, I think 15 all day long on this one. So that's nice. All right, now we're fixing to move into the sci-fi I bought, okay? I didn't find any sci-fi for my personal collection, but I did pick up a few, and it was fun going through it, right? The first two I picked up, Rudy Rucker, freeware and realware. I've sold Rudy Rucker's software book. It's the software, wetware, freeware, realware. I think there may be a fifth, but it's kind of cyberpunkish type stuff, and I've done really good with it over the years. Whenever I see these for the series, I just pick them up. I've actually got a software I can throw with these. I'm out of a wetware right now, but I just throw these on my to sell stack, and I run across them. I put them together, have good success with Rudy Rucker's, you know, software wetware series. Okay. This one's interesting, and actually what's funny, two things. It was on the shelf like this, right? So illegal aliens. And then what jumped out at me, actually I'll show you. These were on the shelf. They were actually like this. All right, so what jumped out at me first was, you know, it's this guy's name. Thought, that's an interesting name. Hadn't heard of him before. And then that they were together, so maybe I could lot them, so I wanted to check them out. But then I noticed that's a TSR book, right? Dungeons and Dragons fame. I can sell this this one. I've got sold comps on eBay between 7 and 15. This is a first print. I think I can sell this. I'll list it for 15, maybe $12.99. It's a good one. These others were by the same guy, Bureau 13, and 2 stories from Bureau 13. This one, I have sold comps several at the 15, 16. These are typically selling for about $5 a piece. I'm going to put them together, ask for 25. Okay? That'll be pretty good. Here's one that I picked up just because I had not heard of this guy, and it's interesting because I think he's prolific in the 50s. Eric Frank Russell. Okay, there were 4 his. And there's Sinister Barrier. Look, this one, okay, Wasp. Now look at that one. They put it in a bag. That must, you know. Actually, versions of this from the 50s. This I've got a soul comp on this one for 15 in really good shape. Original like hardbacks of this on the 50 are 150, 200 bucks a piece. Wasp. Okay. Then this one, Somewhere a Voice, kind of cool cover. And then Sentinels from Space. I'm gonna put these together. I'm gonna ask probably 15 for them. We'll see. I'll do some research on what this one's really selling in this Bantam edition. I may amp it up to 20. We'll see. Okay, here's some that not as big of a. All right, so this was like in the youth section, and there were 2 young adult Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and there were like 5 or 6 of these Star Trek Next Fleet, Next Generation. So there's Geordi and a young Worf. I think it's like when they were in maybe, there's Data, he saw never, you know. I think it's like when the Next Generation were probably in Starfleet Academy. There's 6 of these. I see these, I think these will sell for 20 bucks. I'll probably list them for that and see what happens. Sometimes I see them like for $5, like $1 each. So, and these 2 Deep Space Nines, I'll probably ask $7.99, $8.99. I thought these were worth more, but they're not. It reminded me, the reason I got these is that it reminded me of like the Young Jedi. There's a Young Jedi series that sells good, like, you know, the kid Jedis. It's like that young adult, adolescent kind of fiction. So anyway, not big wins, but they'll be okay. All right. This one's another one I saw just because they were all together. I think, all right, so it's the old sci-fi, the doll sci-fi yellow editions, right? All, you know, Joe Clayton, part of this his Diadem series, Ghost Hunt, Moon Gather, you know, Moon Scatter, kind of, you know, reminds me a lot of the, you know, it's typical part of what we call the sexist 60s and 70s sci-fi covers, you know. But I've seen some of these doll sci-fis and just Joe Clayton lotted up, $4 to $5 each. I can probably sell these for 20 to 25, so that's good. And then the last thing I've got, I've actually just sold this not too long ago, a couple months ago. But it's this Anne Leckie's Ancillary series. Had all 3 of them. They're in good shape. I bought this to read. I had gotten at a thrift store to read. I just couldn't get into it. But this series is getting lots of critical acclaim. It was actually, you know, the Hugo Nebula Award winners, but I just couldn't get into it. But I sold this exact 3 set a couple months ago for like $21.99, or maybe I took a best offer for 20. These will sell for 20 all day long. So that's it. I spent 30-something bucks, had a great morning, got to meet Josh. Glad he was there at the same time. Again, thank you, Josh, for giving me the heads up. You know, just had some fun. You know, I got $250 worth of sales here. Again, I'll probably make somewhere around 150 bucks on it, and had a great time. It's what's right. See cool, buy cool, have fun while you're doing it, right? So, hey, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Look forward to your comments, you know, likes. You guys help, you know, feed that YouTube engine. You guys keep watching. I'll keep doing these. We'll see what happens. And see cool, buy cool. Talk to you soon. Bye.